but the interpretation into the local market, I think that's where your brokerage really does a great job. I was sitting in on a presentation where we just looked at, I think it was like month over month, like, what was the sale price compared to, the sale price from different places, and the brokerage is doing really well. And I think, again, it just goes down to, applying those sort of universal models that have proven cross market over market into the very specific one and interpreting that way. And I think that's something that your brokerage has done a really good job at.
Well, and Steve, I think it's getting rid of that ego, right? Like, I mean, if I'm not willing to look at the numbers and I'm not looking to see where we're failing and I'm not looking to see where we're growing, how can I truly ever help someone, right? And that was like when I talk about Starbucks and I talk about that opportunity. People don't realize how much thinking goes in before they ever open a location. Like, they're tracking how much drive-by traffic, they're tracking how much sunlight the building gets, how much sunlight the sign gets. They're tracking every micro iota of information before they ever launch that business. And so learning through that, I was like, well, what if we just tracked every single iota of our business so we could have similar results? And then KW kind of went, well, we already do that for you. Here's all your metrics. And it was like, oh, well, success kind of leaves clues. Our leader's a billionaire. We're just gonna go follow the path, right? Like it's there. And so what's really cool, like you talk about those numbers, is I was able to kind of, even in my business, I've been able to track and trend and go, okay, in this year, we were having one of our best quarters ever. What were we doing in that quarter? We'll go back to our calendar events and we'll just go, hey, well, look, we were training a lot. We were teaching a lot. We were this, we were that. We were doing all these things, a lot of these things. Yeah. We just went and did it again.
Yeah.
Because it's right.
Well, it's interesting you say that, and just, to timestamp where we're at, it's April 2023 is this recording. And when you talk about the last quarter, a lot of agents in this industry of the real estate would say that it's the worst quarter that they've ever had.
Right.
And I was listening to, I wasn't listening, rather, I was reading the book. It's Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. It's a beautiful book.
Great.
Really talking about, a lot of, perspectives on selling and how important it is in all walks of life. But one of the things it talks about is you have to identify, are you a professional or are you an amateur?
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing. It's a very hard pill to swallow. And it, especially if you sit on the amateur side. And what we find is that, when things get tough, the professionals really come out. When things are easy, an amateur can produce somewhat similar results because the market's doing most of the work. Yeah. And it's, where the benchmark is, did you answer the phone, just because they're just trying to get anybody to show them a property, versus it's now what feels like, I think it's a 30% drop or whatever it was in the market, the number of listings or whatever. I don't know the stats completely. You know them. And, but whatever that is, and to still see a great quarter, that shows that there's a system in place.
Well, and that's the key, right? Is there's a system in place. There's a system in place for everything. And when you talk about the market being down 30%, and we're gonna have to do another episode and that we talk about some of that sort of stuff. I remember the weekend. It was the March long weekend, not long weekend. It was the March break, so spring break for us. I don't know if you're listening in the US, the spring break long weekend, and all of a sudden we went from like the Friday we had offers and we got like 12 offers on a property, and the Monday we had offers and we got none. Mm-hmm. And that's how fast it had happened. And, we talk about this book all the time, Shift. And 2016 at that same conference, one of the things that I heard was always build your business for a downshift. Because if you build your business for a downshift, then you'll do even more when it's up. And when it's down, you'll already be prepared. And so I built all my businesses insulated for shitty markets and shitty times and everything else. That's just how my brain works. And when the shift happened, our team maybe saw a 2-week blip. Because we literally just went, cool, what's the playbook? We've been here before. Let's just implement it again. And so when everybody was having some of their worst years of life last year, we were having one of our best years ever. And we're already poised to smash that this year based on the way the numbers are coming in.